Hello everyone! In this week's video, I'm going to be turning colors into characters. On my list of video ideas, I've had one on there for a long time, and it's to turn colors and their names into characters. For example, if I had a color called grass green, I would make a character that has a lot of green and is nature themed. I really liked this idea, but I've never gotten around to doing it. However, the amazing people over at Arrtx has sent me some of their markers, and a lot of them have interesting color names, so I thought this would be the perfect time to get to do this idea. But of course, before we jump into designing characters, we need to check out the colors that are available to us and randomly pick some colors. Arrtx sent me two sets of the markers. The first is the OROS 48 skin tone set. As the name suggests, it focuses on skin tones. There are 48 markers in the set, and each marker has a chisel nib and a brush nib. The second set of markers is the 90 set of OROS markers. This set offers a wide range of colors. Just like with the other set, each marker has a brush nib and a chisel nib. Both of the sets come with a swatch chart, so let's fill these out. I'm not going to make you watch me fill out the entirety of swatching the swatch charts, because this gets boring and is very repetitive, but I will take this time to tell you what I think about the colors included in each set. I really like the colors in the skin tone set. It's great if you draw a lot of human characters in your work. It offers a good range of lighter, mid-tone, and darker colors. I feel like it is a set that can complement any other marker set very well. As for the 90 set of markers, it does offer a good amount of colors. I do think it's a little odd that there are no orange markers. Some of the yellows and reds get a bit close to orange, but there is no true orange color. Something I do like about this set is that you get a lot of lighter pastel colors. Sometimes marker sets don't include much for pastels, so I was really happy to see them here. So here are all the colors that you get from the different sets. And now that both marker sets are swatched, let's randomly pick some colors for our first character. I put all of the marker numbers into this app so that it can randomly choose a color. So let's see what colors I get. The colors I got are 137 medium pink, 141 pale cream, and 198 tender pink. So let's get designing. Like I said, for this challenge, I want to make a character inspired by the colors, but not just the colors, also their names. In this case, pale cream and tender pink had words that stood out to me, being cream and tender. Cream makes me think of desserts, and tender makes me think of a person that is tender-hearted. So if I combine these concepts, we get a character that is tender-hearted that works at a bakery or pastry shop. At first I was going to make this character be the person that runs the bakery, but instead I decided to have her be more of an apprentice or assistant type of character. She is learning and trying her best, but often runs into difficulties. The outfit she is wearing is her work uniform. I imagine she mostly works out front in the shop area and takes customers' orders, but she does help in the back and does training outside of business hours. As you can see, I'm not only limiting myself to the 3 colors, but I am trying to use them a lot throughout the design. Now that I have my basic concept sketch out, we can make a character sheet. At first I was going to just draw one illustration for each of the characters that I designed in this video, but to help us get a better idea of these characters and their personalities, I thought it'd be more fun to do a spread with multiple drawings. I'm sketching the spread digitally, but I'll print it out so I can color it with markers later. I did think about sketching the spread traditionally on paper, but it sounded less stressful to do it digitally since I can move things around and it's more forgiving. As you saw, I posed this 3D model over here to use as a reference. I wanted to draw a pose of this character kind of tripping and a cake is flying through the air. I felt like this would show that she is a bit clumsy and is prone to making mistakes. For each character sheet, I want to try to include a full body drawing so I can show off the entire design. I was a bit nervous about this though, since I know that when I print this out, some of the details are going to get pretty tiny. I was trying my best to make things not too small, hopefully. I wouldn't really know until I printed it out. Having the 3D model to refer to was definitely helpful, especially when it came to the pose of the hands and also positioning for the cake relative to the character. Also, the program I'm using is Clip Studio Paint. The next drawing is a simple 3/4 headshot. I wanted a drawing that focuses more on the character's face so that we can see it in more detail. I'm going to draw her with a sad expression. Her mentor is probably scolding her for something. In my head, her mentor is kind of strict and very blunt. Oh, also, I decided to name this character Anadia. It means something that's delicate, moist, and tender. It kind of sounds like a description for a cake, but it also fits the words that I got for her. So yeah, her name is Anadia. I imagine she goes by Anna for short. I'm thinking she just recently turned 18, so she is becoming an adult and is learning to be more independent. For this last little drawing, I wanted to show Anadia in a more happy state. I wanted to show that she really likes working with and decorating cakes. I wanted to show another side to her personality instead of just being sad. Oh, and I gave her pigtails because I figured she would have to keep her hair back when she's working, and the pigtails felt kind of cute. I don't have very many characters that wear their hair in this way, so I thought it'd kind of help make her different. So after sketching was done, I printed out my sketches and taped them to my light board. The paper I'll be transferring my sketches to is from the Arrtx marker pad. It comes in a 2-pack and is 11 inches by 8 inches. So I tape this paper to my light pad and start transferring my sketch using a red mechanical pencil. The marker pad paper is very thin. It is only 18-pound paper, and for comparison, standard printer paper is 20-pound. So it's a little thinner than printer paper. However, the backside has a special coating that makes it so that the marker ink will not bleed through onto the surface that is underneath it. And this does mean that there is a wrong and right side to the paper. So if you take the paper out of the marker pad, make sure to keep track of which side is the right side. I was glad I noticed this. It would have been very sad if I had transferred my sketch to the wrong side of the paper. If you try to color on the back side of the paper, the marker just doesn't behave the same and is much lighter. I do have to say that blending markers on this paper is super easy. It's like the ink just melts into each other if you work while the ink is still wet. As you can see, I'm trying to color all of the pink areas first. I am blending multiple pinks for the shading, as well as throwing in a purple to make the shading more interesting. And yeah, I had no problem blending the colors. It was super easy. After I filled in all of the pink areas, next I wanted to fill in the brown areas. I was nervous to work with the darker colors, especially for the tiny details. I was trying my best to work very carefully as to not mess things up. The lighter colors are a bit more forgiving, but if you mess up with the darker colors, it's harder to hide or fix it. Also, something I noticed is that I rarely give characters that I make brown hair, and I think it's because I have brown hair. It makes brown feel like a very basic hair color, so the only main OC of mine that has brown hair is basically Emmett. There are side characters that have brown hair, but Emmett is my only more prominent OC that has this hair color. So yeah, I decided to give Anadia brown hair as well. As you saw, I also used the same brown for her pants and shoes. I wanted to throw in the darker colors to provide contrast, and I tried to include it in the upper and lower part of the design for balance. Next was adding the pale cream color to her shirt. This part was probably the most simple and easiest. I did also decide to make the cake be the same color as her shirt, and I do kind of regret this since it makes the cake kind of blend in with her chibi art, but it's not like the worst thing ever. It's okay, I guess. Lastly, for coloring was adding the skin tone. I gave Anadia a tanner skin tone once again to give a bit of contrast from the lighter colors. Also, a kind of random characteristic I gave her is that her cheeks are often flushed or rosy. Maybe she has kind of naturally rosy cheeks. Oh, also, I almost forgot to mention that I'll not be posting a video next week. My husband and I are in the depths of moving to a new place, and I need some time to get things reset up. So yeah, there will be no video on May 18th, but I will be back on May 25th. Hopefully. I really don't like skipping video uploads, but I feel like skipping a week of posting will make the moving process a bit less stressful. The whole process is already stressful, so lightening it in a way can really be good. And plus, I don't even know if I'll be able to get a video done within that time because we'll be switching where the internet is and I have to get everything reset up. So yeah, I just decided it's better to just not post a video that week. For the finishing touches, I go in with my fine liners to clean and tighten up details. I was very nervous while doing this, especially for the small details. I actually didn't film a lot of the process so that I could just focus on the art and not messing up. I used different colors depending on what I was outlining to help give the art a softer look. Lastly, I added some highlights with my Arrtx acrylic paint markers. I have a whole video on these if you want to check them out. I used white for the eyes and a light brown for the hair. I'm really glad I added a highlight to the hair. I feel like it helped it look more shiny. Next, I added some different symbols to give the drawings more expression and to make them kind of more fun. I also added dots and hearts to kind of fill in the paper and make it feel cute. And so here's a Nadia, inspired by the colors medium pink, pale cream, and tender pink. I really like how she turned out. I think she's cute, and I hope you all like her as well. Now it's time for the second character, and let's see what colors I get. This time I got 377 Snow Purple, CG6 Cool Gray, and 76 Sky Blue. So let's turn these into a character. This time around, the words that I'm working with are snow, cool, and sky. The first thing I thought of was snowboarding because it involves snow and can be considered cool. And I'm going to be honest, I don't include much for sky elements in the design. I kind of wish I would have, but I was so focused on all the snowboarding details that I kind of forgot about the word sky. So for the word sky, I'm just going to name her Skylar. I've technically used this name in the past for a character, but that character is really old and I have no plans of using her again. So now this character is Skylar. I wanted to make this character seem cool, so I gave her sharper facial features and also shorter hair. I don't have very many girl characters with very short hair, so I thought this could be fun. Plus, I imagine of snowboarding, having shorter hair is a bit easier to work with. I don't really know, I've never snowboarded before. For her outfit, I was taking inspiration from many different snowboarding outfits. Also, it may seem like I am just easily making these designs from my head on the spot, but no, for both characters, I spent a good amount of time making an inspiration sheet with references and inspiration for the characters and their designs. I'm not just pulling all of this from my head. For the colors, I started by making Skylar's hair purple and her outfit blue, but I wasn't feeling that very much, so I made the outfit purple, and I was having a hard time deciding on the hair color. And I thought that maybe it would be better to decide on a hairstyle with her wearing her hat, since I imagine she wears her hat and goggles like all the time. So I drew in a hat and goggles and tried to just draw in a hairstyle that felt like it worked well with these items. Since I am making the hat purple to match her outfit, I decided to make her hair black with pops of blue. I thought this would add to making her feel like a cool character. I added more touches of blue like in her boots and also on the underside of her gloves. I feel like for this design it felt better to lean into the purple and to use the other colors as accents. Also, I decided to change her eye shape. Originally I was going to make her eyes be very narrow and have her be more of a stoic character. But since she likes to snowboard, I thought it might be better to make her be more carefree and spontaneous. So I made her eyes wider to help her feel more fun and youthful. Now that I have Skylar's design in place, I can create her character sheet. The first drawing is a simple 3/4 view. Like with the last character, this is to help show off her face a bit more. She's going to be making a confident smirking expression. For the next sketch, I wanted a kind of derpy, silly drawing of Skylar snowboarding. Maybe she sees a friend and is waving to them. I wanted this drawing to show her kind of fun side. In my head, Skylar likes to have fun and is obsessed with snowboarding. It's like all she talks about. She is also extremely competitive. If you challenge her to a race or something, she will instantly accept. And if she wins, she gets a bit cocky and likes to rub it in. And if she loses, she will instantly challenge the person to a rematch. This last drawing is kind of just a full body shot to show her full design. Her face does get pretty small, so I'm trying to keep it more simple. It almost starts to go into my chibi elf style of face. I wanted her stance to feel cool, so I have one hand in her pocket and the other is holding her snowboard. Once my sketches were done, I printed them off and transferred them to the marker paper. And now I am coloring. I was kind of planning to color each colored area like I did with the last character, but I ended up kind of just coloring each drawing one at a time and would randomly add color to the third drawing. Also, this is kind of a note for my future self. Character sheets are not faster and take a very long time. I thought that maybe I'd be saving a little bit of time by doing these character sheets instead of illustrations. And I don't really know why I thought this, because an illustration is only one picture and these character sheets have 3 pictures. And yeah, they are a bit more on the simple side, but it still took me like a lot of time to finish. Like I had over 8 hours of footage and I didn't even film the entire process. I didn't film the cleanup sketches, I didn't film transferring my sketches to the marker paper, I didn't film a lot of the line art process. So I probably would have had like over 10 hours of footage. So yeah, this did not save time. However, I am still happy I did them. I feel like it let me get to know Nadia and Skylar a bit more, and I liked drawing them in different ways. I feel like it was more fun than just drawing one illustration of each of them. Between Nadia and Skylar, I think I like Skylar a bit more. I think it's because she's very different from what I tend to lean towards. Like, making a tender-hearted character that likes baking seems like something I would just do naturally. In fact, it's very similar to Kristen, a character that I made when I was a teenager. She was shy and worked at a bakery. However, when it comes to Skylar, I don't have very many sporty characters. The sportiest characters I have are Chase and Emmett. I guess Tokume could maybe count. He's not sporty, but like he's very physically fit and has good coordination. So yeah, I don't have very many sporty characters. Oh, and coloring this small Skylar was so hard, especially her tiny goggles. I was hardly touching the marker to the paper while coloring this area. I still messed up a bit, but it was okay. I kept going anyways. Also, you may notice I lay down a lighter purple color and then go in with the snow purple. You see, the snow purple was a part of the skin tone set and didn't have any very similar colors to it. And in the 90s set, there weren't very many colors that had a similar hue to the snow purple. However, to make it so I can kind of shade the snow purple colored areas, I lay down the lighter purple and then go over it with the snow purple. And this makes the colors kind of mix. It makes it so the snow purple is more vibrant and saturated. This way I can use the lighter purple as a highlight and it doesn't feel too out of place. If I tried to use the lighter purple as a highlight without layering the colors, the snow purple would have felt too different and too desaturated to go well alongside this color. However, by layering the colors, I can make them more similar, so they blend together for the shading better. This is kind of a random tangent, but at our new place, I'm going to have room for bookshelves in my office, and I'm hoping to be able to fit all my books plus have space for more. At our current place, I don't have any more room to store books, so I've been avoiding buying them, but now I'll be able to continue buying books. Like, I know I have volumes for Snow White with the red hair, as well as the Twilight Princess manga and Space Boy. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to get books again. My husband is also very excited to set up his trains. Our new place is going to have a bonus room, so he can use that space to set up his trains. He really likes model trains. Oh, and if you want to check out the supplies I'm using in this video, there are links in the description and pinned comment. I really enjoyed working with the 90 set of markers and the 48 skin tone set. I feel like they complement each other very well. The 90 set includes a lot of different colors, and along with the skin tone set, you get a good amount of skin tones. So you get a very nice selection. It was really interesting working with this marker pad paper. I'm not sure if I like how thin the paper is. It gets wrinkles or creases in it pretty easily, so you have to be careful. However, like I said, blending is super easy and the colors go down so smooth, so that's a major plus. It is also nice that the ink won't bleed through onto other surfaces. I usually have to worry about protecting my desk from marker bleed through, but I didn't have to worry about that with this paper. Now that the coloring is done, it is time once again for line art. Like with the previous character, I did not film this whole process. I had to focus so hard when doing the little details, especially for snowboarding Skylar. Her mouth and goggles were so little. I had my face like inches away from the paper. My eyes felt very tired once I was done. I definitely needed a break. I really like how much Skylar's blue eyes pop. The contrast of the darker colors really makes them stand out. I don't know if Skylar or Nadia will ever appear in anything, but it would be funny to include them as background characters or as a type of cameo in something. Last but not least, I add some little symbols once again to give the drawings more expression. I didn't add any kind of pattern this time since it didn't really feel needed for Skylar. And so here is Skylar, the character that was inspired by the colors Snow Purple, Cool Gray, and Sky Blue. I had so much fun designing her and working with her snowboarding elements. It really pushed me to try new things. Thank you to Arrtx for sending me these supplies to use. I had so much fun getting to use them. Make sure to check out the links below for more info. Before we end, I want to thank my super awesome YouTube members and Patreon patrons for their support. It means so much to me. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week in my next video. Bye!